In the paying case, the defendant makes the claim that checks. I guess we don't really know what checks are as much as we used to because no one really uses them anymore. We all pay our bills online, but checks, and I'm sure you still have working familiarity with what they are. You grew up with them. That a check, to a bank or to your power company, that is hearsay. That's an out of court written declaration of something. And that makes sense. I mean, like you couldn't introduce a letter into court. It would be hearsay. There are exceptions that might get it in, but a letter by itself is definitionally hearsay if you're offering it for the truth of the matter asserted. So why would a check be any different? Why would a check be any different than a letter? Well, the reason for that is a check is in some ways a classic or a paradigm example of a verbal act. You are saying to the bank with a check, take my money out of my account and give it to Duquesne Light Company. Take money out of my account and give it to Xfinity to pay my cable bill. So this is by definition a verbal act. Much like if I call up Comcast and I say, I want the HBO package. Well, that's a verbal act. That changes the nature of the world by my spoken word. A check changes the nature of the world by my written word. Because of what I write here, the bank will take money from my account and give it to Comcast. So that is something that is not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, because, to use the philosophy term again, there is no underlying truth value to a check. There merely is the command, the order, take this money of mine and give it to somebody else. The check is the same from an evidentiary standpoint, regardless of whether you got the money in the bank to cover it. Now, Comcast will care whether you've got the money in the bank to cover it, but from an evidentiary standpoint, whether that money is there or not is not relevant. That in terms of the statement that you are making with the thing you're doing when you write a check is merely an order to transfer money. You are not saying you are the person getting the check will assume the money's there, and there are consequences for you if it's not. But what you are saying is not, I hereby represent that I have this much money in the bank, although you may be doing that. And if you are doing that, and if we're offering that to show you had that much money in the bank, this becomes an implied assertion, which we'll look at in our next node. But if we're merely offering this to show the consequence or the effort to bring a change in the world, your effort to move money from your account to Comcast, then the check is not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, but rather for your effort to move money from one place to the other. It is a verbal act.